Yeah, since I've been here, I've been trying to keep all the guys in check. Just making sure all of us communicate with each other. All of us just hang out with each other. If that means like going out, getting something to eat. Coming here, getting some work in. No matter what it is, offense or defense, just coming here, staying together, and become a family and part of the brotherhood.
So all the text messages and all that start with you, or?
I'm not gonna say it all starts with me because I don't really like taking all the credit for like people being here and the relationships that other people have with other football players. But it's a group chat. Jair can say something, Devin can say something, Keon can say something, but all of us have the responsibility to answer that and hang out with each other.
CJ, because you're from just down the road, and because you were a very early pledge to the class, do you feel a little bit of spitting off that question, like a little bit of a captaincy, like somebody who is essentially front and center to lead this class as you get started, understanding it's really hard as a freshman to be here? Have you kind of gravitated toward that role a little bit, especially with your familiarity with Ohio State?
I try my best. Come in here, give 110% every day, show that that it's really, I'm not gonna say not hard, because obviously it is hard. It's a big transition from high school to college, but show all the other guys that that are here and coming in the summer. Like I was talking to Hero and Sonny, talking about the workouts this past weekend because they came up here, and the guys that are already up here just trying to set a good example, just to fight. Team up north, ab workouts, just everything, just fight, give it 110% in everything you do.
You know how recruiting rankings can be all over the map, and obviously you're one of, I think you're the highest rated player in the class to come in this year. Does that at all affect the way that you view your prospects to play early in your career? How do you view your own expectations entering, and what you want to achieve for yourself?
I think everybody kind of paid attention to the rankings that's here, but at this point it really doesn't matter because you be #1 recruit in the country. You come here and play horrible and you won't even touch the field. But so like I said, it's all about giving 110%. Jair, I feel like he's very underrated, one of the best corners in the country, but doesn't really show that in the rankings. Same thing with Caden Curry, but yeah, rankings really doesn't mean that much to me.
CJ, if you were recruited by certain coaches, they're not here anymore.
Yeah.
How did you take that? What do you think of Jim Knowles so far? Just kind of that whole change. How does that affect you? How do you view that?
It was hard, a little bit because before Coach Washington did leave, we all had a linebackers meeting, and he was talking about how we're going to shock the country and show everybody who Ohio State's linebackers are. The next day, hear that he's gone, kind of hurt because he was the guy that recruited me for 2 years. But I understand that it is a business, and Ohio State's going to replace good coaches with good coaches too. So Coach Knowles has been doing a great job, and all the new defensive coaches have been doing a great job too.
Do you have any feel for him yet?
Yeah, he's cool. He's a little mellow, but he's cool.
Have you kind of looked at how you might fit in some of the tweaks they're probably going to make to the defense?
Yeah, they said that they still want me at the wheel spot. They have the Leo roaming around the defensive line, but they want me at the wheel spot for sure.
How would you describe yourself as a player?
A guy who always gives 110% as long as he can. Blood, sweat, and tears, leave it out on the field. Always team player. If I got to block, I'll block. If I got to be a distraction, I'll be a distraction. It doesn't matter what it is. I just want to see my team succeed.
CJ, you and Gabe early on were guys that were pledged in this class at a position of need at Ohio State. How much of the discussion has that been among you all early, understanding that they need you guys, and how that potentially motivates, excites, gets you going early in your career?
For me and Gabe, because that's my roommate as well, but we kind of talk about that sometimes, just coming in here, shocking the world, always giving 110% like I keep saying, just leaving it out all on the field, trying to learn the defense. It is a lot much more than high school defenses. It's more complex, but we're ready for it for sure.
CJ, a lot of freshmen played last year, starters, offense, and defense. Did you guys take note of that as a class? Like there's a chance to come in, like if you're good enough, you can play right away?
Yeah, but we understand that once we come in, that nothing's promised to us. So it's all about work and how hard you want it and how hard because it's not just the football aspect; it's academics as well. So you gotta handle things on and off the field. That's watching film. That's like I said, giving 110% on the field, paying attention in class, making sure you're going to your tutoring and all that other stuff.
Will you like kind of like go to guys like Denzel Berg who played, started like right away as freshmen for like pointers or like things like that? Like
Yeah, I go to I talk to Denzel and Trey a lot, just to like get a feel on like how it affected them, like their mindset. I also talk to them sometimes about the NIL deals and things like that too. So.
CJ, when you keep referencing this, shock the world for the linebacker unit there, what's the mood like that you've sensed from 2 or 3 weeks of being in that, like, damaged pride or whatever, that trying to come back and bounce back from the last couple of years? What's it been like in there? What are the conversations like?
All the linebackers love each other, that's for sure. But all the linebackers also want to see each other succeed. Like right now, I'm working out with Tommy Eichenberg. That's my partner in the weight room. Man, it's crazy. But it gets you right. He's teaching me how to be an Ohio State linebacker. So we all love each other, that's for sure, and we all just want to be successful.
I think these workouts tend to be, the winter workouts tend to be eye-openers for the freshmen who come in and not used to the intensity. What was it like for you?
It really wasn't that bad for me because my cousin Rob Lander, she went here, and once I committed here, I worked out with him for like a couple months in the summer, but before my junior year and then after my junior year, I worked with him as well. So some of the stuff I'm familiar with, but the tempo, that's really all that's different.
What's the relationship?
Oh, me and BB, that's my cousin.
Okay.
So
How's he doing?
he's good. Trying to figure out what he wants to do. He still wants to make it to the league, but I talked to him in a little bit. So.
Okay. How are you related?
His mom is my dad's sister. So.
How much of an advantage does that give you? At least you have somebody who can tell you what to expect and been through it.
Yeah, it just keeps telling me to get my mind right, make sure I come in and stay focused, and not try to slack or anything like that.
Did I hear you right? You mentioned that Leo position when you were talking about what you've been playing so far.
No, that's I mentioned that he wants me at the Will spot, and the Leo spot is going to be roaming around. I think that's what Caden Curry is going to be playing.
Okay. Well, what is kind of, as an athlete, what do you feel like is the most important thing you have to accomplish this winter heading into the spring?
Learning the playbook, because I feel like if I learn the playbook and I keep doing what I'm doing in the weight room, and eventually once we get on the field, then I will show that I am capable of playing. So.
CJ, what's just the reality of being an Ohio State football player so far compared to your expectations coming in?
It's still kind of crazy that I am here, because a couple months ago I was still in high school. But, yeah, the expectations really haven't changed for me, because once I was in high school, I still have the same mindset that I had back then, was to just come in and just work. Because I know a lot of people feel like I have a target on my back a little bit, but I got to work for sure.
Has there been anything that's been particularly eye-opening about your first month here?
Not really, because I've been up here a lot. So I came to every home game and chill with a lot of players. So I'm kind of already familiar with everybody.
CJ, obviously you were a big part in kind of developing this class, bringing in, recruiting guys once you were yourself recruited. And I'm curious, now that you've been around like a group of them, like a part of the same team, living together, things like that. I mean, are the guys around you what you expected them to be? Is it why you recruited them to come to Ohio State, or what has that been like actually as an earlier enrollee?
Well, it really wasn't just me recruiting them. That's another reason why. Like the Captain Buckeye thing is cool, I like it, but it's not all just me. It's the coaches, it's the players, it's their decision. I make sure that the recruits know that it's their decision. I'm not going to force them to come to Ohio State. But yeah, everybody here, it's the same thing, because we talk over social media. We have our own little group chat, but everybody's still the same.
Yeah, I know you locked in like that early, but had you had any level of a relationship with Coach Knowles before you got hired here?
No, I actually I paid attention to their defense a lot though, because I seen they kept crawling higher and higher in the rankings. So I watched their game against Baylor, and I think they lost, but I paid attention to it for sure. And kind of crazy the week after, not the week after, but a couple weeks after, we ended up taking the DC job at Ohio State.
So early first impressions. I know you haven't been around too much. Early first impressions of him.
Well, just looking at the defense, he likes to get after the quarterback. Excuse me. But I paid attention to the numbers while he was at not Ohio State, but Oklahoma State. And every year he was there, they got better in every category. So I like that for sure. Him as a coach, he's a great guy. Me and him went to Sonny's game a couple weeks ago. Just chopping up with him and chopping up with Sonny's dad, because Sonny's dad went here and was a linebacker, so everything. He's a good guy.
You mentioned the Captain Buckeye thing. Is that a pressure that you want? Like, is that something that you kind of, I don't know, like, how do you respond to that? Because it seems like there's a lot of pressure associated with it already calling you a Buckeye or a captain and like this leader of a class. I mean, does that stress you out? Is that a pressure that you kind of want coming into your freshman year here, or what? How do you respond?
It really doesn't affect me, because to me it's just a nickname, but I understand that to Ohio State it means a lot much more than that. And with the pressure thing, pressure makes diamonds. So that's all I'm worried about.
There's only 2 linebackers playing now, like officially.
Yeah.
Obviously, Leo's what do you think? Linebackers can play. There's only 2 linebacker spots, and there's a lot of you guys in the room, the new assistant coach, but you're still a 5-star recruit, and there's like some expectation that you might be able to carve out a role here. What do you think you need to do over the next 9 months to make that happen?
Just keep doing what I'm doing on the field, and learn the playbook the best way I can.
I know Al Washington was the guy you built a relationship with the entire time, but kind of getting a new, fresh set of eyes in here, do you feel like there's an opportunity that maybe wouldn't have been there?
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that for sure, because it's the first time the other guys are meeting the new coaches as well, if they weren't already being recruited by them when they were in high school. So I feel like all of us are getting a fresh new start, and they're getting to see who's the guys. So.
What's it like to be the headliner of a class, CJ, that's such an elite class? You guys are ranked 4th in the country. You're the number 1 ranked recruit in the class. What's that like for you?
It's a true blessing. I really wouldn't be ranked as high as I was if it wasn't for my mom and God. But like I said, I pay attention to the rankings, and the rankings, I like where I'm at, but the rankings doesn't really mean anything to me.
What do people see in you that makes you think that guy?
What do you mean?
Meaning you are, basically the highest rated guy in this club. What do you think people see in you that they like? You understand what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah. So
as a football guy.
I'm very versatile, because if you watch my film, I play offense, defense, play punt, kick, return as well, and you really don't see a lot of linebackers doing that.
Yeah.
But some of the clips on my highlight film as well, I'm blocking. Showing that I am a team player, showing you that I can do more things, and whatever coach needs me to do, I'll do it. So.
CJ, what is the feeling you guys coming in about what needs to get fixed about this defense? And literally, I guess you've gotten to know Coach Knowles. What this tells you he's the guy? I mean, what stands out about him, I guess?
I haven't really talked to him as much, but when I do talk to him, he's all about changing everything. Same thing with Coach Mick. We're starting on a new path. We got a team meeting and everything, just focusing and getting back to a national championship.
When you watched that defense last year on television, what did you see, or you watched it live, what did you see that maybe does need to get fixed? What stood out to you about that?
I just felt like we just had a bad day, but being Ohio State and being such a top program in the country, I feel like you can't really have a bad day or you get bashed. So I think that we just need to understand that and pick everything up.
How many guys do you know at Notre Dame?
I know a couple.
So are you already starting to, do you guys have any back and forth getting ready for that? Headliner, right?
Not really. You know, I talked to Emil, and I joke with him because we grew up with each other, and we played basketball against each other. And I talked to Zoe, Sonny's brother, and me and Sonny just joke with him because you know it's kind of crazy how Sonny's first game is going to be against his brother. It's kind of cool too, in front of their father too. So that's really the only two guys I really talk to who's going to Notre Dame.
So growing up in the Dayton area, were you a Ohio State fan for as long as you can remember? Talk about your fandom growing. Were you rooting for maybe another program when you were a little kid?
Okay, so with me, I really don't even have a favorite team. That includes basketball, NFL, college. I really just like players. Like I just gravitate to players. When I was younger, I would always gravitate to Braxton Miller. You know, he's from my hometown. He went here. You know, every time I would just turn on TV and see Ohio State and seeing him doing some crazy runs, doing some crazy passes, spin moves, and things like that. And as I got older, you know, me and him kind of built a bond with each other because I was blessed with the opportunity to meet him a couple times, and my trainer trained him as well. So as I'm up here, that's kind of another guy that I talk to about everything. So
You guys still keep in touch?
yeah,
Pretty close to this day?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you said, he was just as outstanding as you could get as a football player. It's,
Exactly.
His career's come and gone. You know what I mean? What does that tell you about the sport you're in and how you gotta get it done sooner rather than later? You understand what I'm saying, CJ?
Yeah.
Nothing's a given.
Yeah, like you said, nothing's a given, nothing's really promised. But he's basically just teaching me how to move around Ohio State, and if I do get to the league, you know, how to carry myself and what I need to do and what I don't need to do, things like that. Because he's still very successful what he's doing right now.
He's kind of in the middle of building his own, I don't know, brand is the word, but he's got a lot of different things going on. So
Yeah.
what is it like to watch a guy like that as he's kind of launching all these different things? Do you think you have that relationship?
You know, it's really cool because I still talk to other players as well. You know, I'm talking to Braxton, I talk to Zeke, Paris Campbell, Troy Smith, because Braxton and Troy had a little camp together just a couple months ago. But yeah, you know, you get a different aspect from everybody because people are all on different paths.